In today's episode of the Platform Presents podcast, I have an interesting guest here with me today. I'm with Winn, and he's hailing over from the team at Catalyst. He's a manager for brand community, and today we want to deep dive, what Catalyst is all about, how they're helping to move customer success to center, as they say on the website, and also how Ben is thinking about growth for the company. So Ben, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. So maybe give us a 360 overview. What is Catalyst software all about?
Well, Catalyst software is a customer success platform. It was built by CS leaders. It's in fact the only CS platform that was built by customer success leaders for customer success teams. Our goal is to help you drive net revenue retention, which is the most critical metric in the boardroom, reduce churn, optimize customer experience, scale without needing to add additional headcount, and do all of that just in a beautiful, intuitive UI that is easy to set up, easy to integrate with your tech stack, and easy to adopt team-wide.
Very clear, very succinct. What would you say is the typical company that leverages the platform? Who's benefiting most from Catalyst?
Well, arguably investors, because net revenue retention is the number one metric that impacts valuation. A small increase in NRR going from, let's say 100% to 110%, means your growth is compounding 10% year over year, even just from within your existing customer base, which has a massive multiplier effect on your ultimate valuation. So for founders, executives, anyone with equity in the company, NRR is the top metric, and you need an incredible customer success platform to do it. So that's my high level answer. But in the day-to-day, I would say, we're built to make customer success managers' lives a lot easier and help them drive incredible results.
You mentioned customer success managers. Are those the ones who are bringing the tool on board, or does it come from the C-suite? Because you mentioned the investors angle as well. Like, who's bringing on the platform typically into the company?
I mean, typically our buyer is a VP of customer success, chief customer officer, sometimes a chief revenue officer, or a VP of revenue. It's someone who owns that NRR metric, upsells, expansions. Someone who like I said, who owns that metric is the one who's generally looking to bring us in. But then, our end user is usually, we're used by executives to get a 360 view of, the customer base, the health of the customers, do revenue forecasting, that sort of thing. But the vast majority of our end users are customer success managers who have a large book of business and are managing those customers every single day.
Very cool. Now, how do they hear about Catalyst? Like, what would you say is the typical journey that somebody's going through? In other words, what is the key client acquisition channels you guys leverage?
Good question. So we primarily, we took a bit of a different route than some of our competitors and other companies in the space. We believe a lot in community-led growth. So when I joined the company a couple of years ago, we really didn't have much of a brand presence. It was, the team had been really focused on just building the tool and developing it and going deep into these integrations to get it to where it needed to be to really be impactful. And so my goal when joining was just to drive brand awareness. And we did that through launching community programs that would provide value to people in our space. So it wasn't just us telling people about Catalyst, it was us creating value for others, which would then bring them into our ecosystem. And by being part of it, they then generated more value for other people. And there's sort of this network effect, which has been really helpful for us. And it's driven a lot of organic growth to our subscriber base, social media, that sort of thing. People who follow us on social know we put out memes and GIFs like every single day that are just reflective of life in tech or life as a customer success manager. So we got a lot of organic inbound just through our community efforts, our social efforts, our brand presence in the space. But we also do a lot of intentional enterprise outbound. A lot of that just because of the nature of selling into enterprise, it requires a fair bit of outbound effort. And hopefully, even when we reach out, at least people have heard of us. Sometimes, we've only been really in the market for 2 years now. So sometimes we still need to drive that brand awareness as well.
Very cool. You mentioned the community-led growth, maybe because I think there's marketers out there who are very interested in bringing that into their company, who are sort of building up communities at the moment. What is one or two things that you've learned? Might it be sort of, the infrastructure, like, where do you actually host the communities versus or what do you do in order to foster the community? Do you have maybe one or two key learnings that you picked up over the years?
Yeah, for sure. Sorry, my cat's just attacking something, but the no, I'd say the biggest thing is that community-led growth is really, can take a wide variety of forms. A lot of people think about community and they're like, oh, we need to start a Slack group, or oh, we need to start an online forum. Maybe, but those are just two tools in the arsenal, right? The first community program we launched was a mentorship program, because there's already a bunch of really great Slack channels and forums for customer success leaders. So if you want to get into community-led growth, I would say the biggest thing you can do is sort of take a step back and do an analysis of the market. Like, what are people struggling with? Interview people in your ICP and figure out, where are they going to find answers when they have questions? Where are they going for mentorship? Where are they going for support? Maybe there's a big gap that you can fill. And if you can do that, then you're providing value that's really relevant and important to folks in your ICP. And then that will bring them in, and then you can build on it from there. I think it's a big mistake I see a lot of companies make when they want to get into community-led growth is they'll spin up a forum, and just because they think that's what it is, and they don't do any competitive analysis, they don't validate the idea with people in their space, they don't have anything unique to it, and they just expect that people are going to come and interact and then buy their product. And that's absolutely not what community-led growth is. It's about understanding your community, understanding what they want, what they need, giving before you take, providing value, and trusting that that will come back around.
When you say the mentorship program, how should we experience? So does that mean I come to your website or your community and I get a customer success mentor, for example? Or how does it work?
Exactly, yeah. So it's called the Catalyst Coaching Corner. It's on our website, and we have over 100 coaches now supporting, I believe, over 200 players is what we call them. And it's twice a year. It runs quarterly, like every other quarter. And basically you apply if you want to receive coaching from a VP customer success or a chief customer officer. And we have folks from Hopin and Slack and Product Board and Pendo and all these great companies. So if you want mentorship, you basically just apply. And we have a rigorous process to evaluate applicants and then match them with a mentor, generally based on things like industry, goals of why you want mentorship, company size, company stage. We look at a variety of factors to make sure all the matches are really targeted.
Very cool, super interesting. What would you say the website plays? Which role does the website play in their journey of getting to know Catalyst and getting started eventually?
It's a very important one. I mean, especially finding out about our community, finding out about our events. We do a lot of, creative marketing campaigns. And a lot of it is just to bring people to our site, get them there and pique their interest enough that they then hopefully request a demo. So, for example, we launched a fake dating app for CSMs called retainme.io. That was just a website we built on Webflow, but it brought people in because it was funny and it was interesting. But then when they click through, we strategically led everyone to ultimately a customized demo request page. And then on our website itself, we've got tons of resources, we've got community information, we've got product information. It's all sort of there. So yeah, it's a critical role.
Makes sense. I'd like to switch gears a little bit. We talked about growth, we talked about community, the website. I would like to ask some questions about your journey as a brand manager and a community manager or a leading community for the company. There's so much to read. If you're building up communities, if you want to do that to foster growth, like what's your go-to resource? Where did you where do you find golden nuggets of information? Is there any other communities that you're in to learn about that? Is there any blogs, any experts? What could you recommend?
Yeah, I mean, community is a relatively new space, at least in the current form. Fortunately, there are some great people leading the way. So, Comsor is an amazing tool, but they also have a fantastic community called the Community Club. That's everyone who's into community-led growth is in there. You can find a ton of valuable resources. Their CEO, Mac Redden, is brilliant and always incredibly helpful. CMX is the other major one that I would say. They also have a great Slack channel. They've got a ton of resources, everything you need to know about community-led growth as well. So between those two places, Community Club and slash ComStore and CMX, you've got all your bases covered. They do events, they have resources, you can DM people, and similar to customer success, community is full of people who just love to help other people. So if you message them, 9 times out of 10, you will get a yes if you want to get half an hour of their time asking questions.
Cool. So if somebody who's like listening in and who's in the customer success space, if they're getting interested about what you guys are doing, might it be as a mentor or might it be as a mentee? Like, what would be the 2 places that they should go? What should they do in order to go either of the routes?
Yeah, I mean, if you're in customer success and looking to level up your career, definitely check out the Coaching Corner. Subscribe to our newsletter because we put out some really fantastic, impactful content. You'll be the first to hear about our events. We've got an event happening very soon. I'm not sure when this episode will come out, but we do events a few times a month that are all shaped around immediate problems that CS leaders and CSMs have. Sometimes it's internal about getting promoted, negotiating compensation, building a leveling system for your CS org. And then sometimes it's tactical and it's customer facing, like, what to do when, a customer reaches out about XYZ problem, how to work with product internally, how to make sure sales stops selling vaporware and screwing you over when the customer is like, oh, can we set up that integration? And you're like, we don't have that integration. So, putting stuff out there all the time. Definitely just check out catalyst.io, subscribe, and apply for the coaching part.
Cool. And if you're a mentor from the other side, what should they do? If you're a seasoned customer success manager. Yeah,
if you're a seasoned CS leader and you like giving back and you want to give back, especially in a more formalized structure, because we know sometimes it can be hard to field all of the requests from people who want to just DM you on LinkedIn and ask for to pick your brain for 30 minutes. You can shoot me a note, ben@getcatalyst.io, or reach out to community@getcatalyst.io. And we would definitely love to hear from you. We're always looking for new coaches to add into the program.
Okay, as we're slowly moving towards the end of the interview, I would have some rapid fire questions to get to know you and your journey a little bit better. Are you ready for those?
Definitely, let's do it.
Cool. What is the last book you read?
So the last book I read was The Dawn of Everything, A New History of Humanity by David Graeber.
What is one single thing your company is focused on the most at the moment?
That's a good question that I can share. I would say coming up with and building something that no one else has seen before or done to drive net revenue retention.
Mm-hmm. If there would be no boundaries in tech, what's the one thing you would fix for your role today?
If there were no boundaries, can you explain the question a little bit more?
Sure. You have a magic wand. You can fix everything you wanted for your role in your role. What's the one thing you would fix?
I mean, unlimited budget would be great to just give people. I think, I love doing experiential events. I think they're super cool. And I think with an unlimited budget, that would just be a whole lot of fun.
What's the last thing that kept you awake at night about the company?
It's always a balance of, there's always so much more to do and you always want to add headcount. You always want to invest in other areas. And it can be difficult to prioritize and figure out exactly where to invest because as much as you want to do everything at once, you can't do it all at the same time.
And for the very last question, I would like to ask you if we're doing a little bit of time travel, right? If we go back to the days when you just started with Catalyst, what's the one advice you would give yourself for your journey within Catalyst?
I think what I would have loved to have understood and invested in much earlier on is demand generation. I'm really good at getting eyeballs on things and getting people to engage with things, but that's only half the equation. You need someone who's brilliant at the other side of that equation, which is taking those eyeballs and translating them into dollars. And so I think I spent a lot of time getting the eyeballs and not doing a good enough job translating those eyeballs into revenue, which fortunately now we have someone incredible in place. But that's what I would do.
And appreciate you took the time with us today. Basically, to wrap it up, I want to give you the very last word. If somebody would be forgetting all that we discussed about Catalyst, what's the one thing they should remember?
At the end of the day, you can, if you're someone who's ever looked at a situation and been like, I could do that better, or if I were in charge, I wouldn't do it that way. That was literally the impetus for starting Catalyst. It was CS leaders saying, we are all doing this job, and there are things about the software that's currently available that we don't like. And if we were making the software, we'd build it this way. And so they did. And so, it's the only purpose-built customer success platform where it's been built by customer success leaders who know that day-to-day pain. And that is felt throughout not only the company as someone who works there, but as a user of the product and as a former CS leader myself. It's something that I feel and see in every aspect of the product. And that's something you won't get anywhere else. So if you're using a CSP and you want to check out Catalyst, or if you're currently just on Salesforce and you're thinking about adding extra tooling for your customer success team to drive NRR, reach out to me, reach out to the Catalyst team. I would love to chat with you and show you the product.
Thanks a lot for being a guest on Platform Presents.
Thank you for having me.